I really hope so.
Definitely. I'm in a laughing mood, so go for it.
All right, sweet.
All right, cool.
I'm drinking on podcasts going forward because it always puts me in a more laughy mood. So
nice. All right, let's do this. Oh, one second. Oh my. Oh, I messed up the order. There we go.
hello and welcome to the Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind: to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Ackman. I'm joined by my co-hosts and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci and Bob Hessek. Hey guys, how are you? And this week we are doing my head chef's recommendation. He's batting 1,000 because the two movies he suggested so far were terrible. This is Moonfall. Who wants to talk about it, and how you guys doing?
I'm overdue. I'll talk about it. This movie is trying to live up to the hype and expectation of Independence Day.
Yes.
But the antagonist is the moon, and they need to kill it. And the guy from The Conjuring portrays a disgraced astronaut who then gets called back to duty after he was proven correctly when he was... The thing that disgraced him was based on a claim that was factual to him, but nobody else. But then he was proven right. So they bring him back and they're like, you need to kill the moon.
Yeah, that right there reminds me of another movie. I don't know if you guys are thinking the same thing I'm thinking, but it's another one that my head chef, Chef Taylor, suggested, Geostorm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It drew many parallels for me, and I guess we'll get into that. But Bob, how you doing?
I guess so. Doing okay. I'm week 2 into a coding camp with a bunch of third graders, so my maturity level is right where it needs to be for this episode.
Cool. Have you spread any scat behind or below your eyes yet?
No, I have not. Not that kind of camp.
He's not. He hasn't gone insane yet.
No, it's mostly indoors. It's like 67% indoors.
Okay, fair enough. But speaking of insanity, someone said insanity. YouTube.
Sitting on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. Sounds awfully familiar.
It's good though.
No, it isn't. YouTube comments. Okay, so this one is fucked up. I've been, like I said, to anybody who's new listening to the show, I look up YouTube comments to highlight the mental deficiencies that people that watch these movies often have. I go to the paid version if there's one available to see the comments, because people are throwing money down for it, and I feel like that's the most invested audience you're going to have. So number one, I really love this movie. Great visual effects, special effects, and very well made. Number two, I just finished watching this movie, and the visual effects is stunning. It's one of those movies that are good but didn't deserve the flop, and I found the story really interesting, although it may be about saving the world and protecting family. However, in my eyes, they did it in a really creative way from my perspective. Not a single piece of punctuation on that. That's why I read it like a run-on. Number three, this movie was surprisingly pretty good. A great cast with an original storyline, which is pretty rare these days. Most movies coming out these days are either remakes or stories taken from older films and rewritten in some way to make it seem new. Not this one. I definitely recommend it to anyone. You won't be disappointed if you're into science fiction. And then I saved the best for last. This is 2 paragraphs, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it.
Oh boy.
Ouch.
This movie was amazing. I thought it'd be a poor quality film, but it turns out the script was well written, acting delivered on point, great story, cinematography. Holy crap. I was mind blown, awed, and was jumping out of my seat, especially when the storyline reveals the origin of the moon. Man, I love this movie. I was so pleased with the film that I literally was jumping up and down in my chair and thought at the end of the movie, dude, I'd totally buy a Moonfall shirt if there was any for sale. And I'm the guy that never buys any merch for anything. I'm sold, total fan of this movie, and I really hope they make a sequel. Everything in this film worked and was right on point.
What's the fucking sequel? The moon falls again?
I did not write that. No, but they did open it up for a sequel, which we'll probably get into later.
That's true.
They did, yeah, but it didn't make money, so they did not.
Yes, thank fuck for that. This movie was terrible, but we do have to compare it to its competition. And what I do here in test number 1, the worst of its kind, is I plug other movies that you find in the social or the streaming site that you're watching the movie on. So like they suggest, blah, 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 blah. I look up the Rotten Tomatoes rating, and then I compare it to the movie in question. And the difference is their score. It's pretty simple. Let's throw it to test number 1, the worst of its kind.
I feel like somebody stuck a big club up my ass.
The worst.
And it hurts.
Of its kind.
Got to figure out a way to get it out of there.
That's fucking fantastic. Man, you loved Samurai Cop secretly.
So good.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Well, to further explain what I'm doing here, I just, organically pick the 5 that seem closely related to me. And in no way do I ever influence the math because I hate the movie. And I might have mentioned before how much I hate this movie. So look at how, unbiased I am, how objective. Starting with Jurassic Park with Sam Neill and Laura Dern, a 91.
Yeah. Okay.
Very similar movies, in my defense, in a way. What way? Yeah. Well, we don't have time to talk about how, but Independence Day. Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum as only a 68 there. I'm not sure if Bob's going to take a victory lap here because he's not a huge Independence Day fan, but
too high.
Yeah.
I mean, a 70 would get you through school. So, weird.
But this was a 68, so they failed.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm rounding up. Well, here's another space epic, just like Moonfall. It's called Avengers Endgame with Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson. This one in 94. Wow. Yeah, how about that?
I haven't seen that one yet, but it's coming up pretty soon, I think. On my
Marvel,
for
sure.
Thing.
In your magic corner.
Yes.
Well, here's a similarity. Can you guys think of another movie franchise where AI takes over and starts killing everyone?
Terminator?
Yeah, the Terminator, the first one with Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. My God, Moonfall is getting clobbered here. And then actually, it was on the list. Another movie that we've done recently, and it's Pulp Fiction with Sam Jackson and Tarantino. It's there. I don't know. It was in the list. So it's
you know why?
Go ahead.
Because inside of Wallace's briefcase was the moon.
That's the truth. You saw it glow. But if you're interested in checking out our Pulp Fiction episode, which by the way was a good movie episode because we all love Tarantino, mostly Bob, but all of us do. Where could they find that episode, Rob?
www.theworstmovieevermade.com.
Yeah, check it out. So a 92 there. With all of those things considered, we averaged it out and it came to an 89. How do you guys feel Moonfall did?
With that last guy's review, low 80s, like an 83.
Jesus. Okay. I'm going to go with a 3 to round it out.
Okay, well, Bob is actually closer, but it's a 30-5, which is why I definitely why I definitely wasn't selected. For sure. A negative 54 and worst to start. That's about where Leonard Part 6 was last season for us as our opening salvo for the season. So we'll see how that fares. Mm-hmm. Leonard Part 6, I think, had like a 6-episode run, something like that last season.
Yeah, it had a 6 or 7. It had a dynasty for sure.
Yeah, it couldn't lose, and I hope this one doesn't because I hated it so much. But as for now that I've jotted down negative 54 and worst, which doesn't matter because we're not comparing any movies later anyway, we're going to throw it to test number 2. This is a limerick that we do to summarize the movie or just make fun of it, what have you. This is called Ain't That a Pitch?
But for all you Hulkamaniacs that haven't seen No Holds Barred yet, I'm making a list, and I'm checking it twice, and you better go see No Holds Barred. Otherwise, I'll body slam you when I see you. Hulkamaniacs, what you gonna do when No Holds Barred runs wild on you?
Test number 2. Ain't that a pitch?
Yes.
All right.
We heard from the Hulkster there.
Yeah.
Who goes first? I don't mind.
Go ahead. And then how about Chris, Bob, me? That
Okay.
work?
Yeah, that works. Yay, we did it. Great job, guys. We found it. It's over. And it's about time. 111 episodes. Now my fucking head explodes. My mission is over, and I want to die.
Wow. Okay, very dark.
Notable lack of rhyme scheme, but there we go.
All right. This is going to reveal my opinion. There once was an overrated movie called Independence Day. Made by a guy who said, I'm going to make it again today. Again, we celebrate conspiracy theorists. This guy deserves a firm smack on the wrist. After this, I'm concerned for my overall mental state.
Right.
Bob, I think you should be a rapper.
Yeah.
You have a way of bending rhymes that really works for you. It's nice. Another fucking shot across the bow at Independence Day, too, Rob. Jot that
All right.
down.
Yep.
We must retaliate.
Oh, I will. By never watching Independence Day, because I think Bob might be right, and I'm remembering it.
He's not. It's still awesome.
It is this movie. It's 100% this movie. I'll make my argument later. Go ahead.
All right.
I can't wait.
There once was a moon in the sky that was more dangerous than a pizza pie that hits your eye. Mega structures are explained and meteors they rained, but thankfully we had the Conjuring guy.
I don't like voting for myself, so I'll go Rob 4 stars.
Well,
Rob?
Chris's was good because it had to spare. Bob's was good because it actually rhymed. So I'm just by virtue of maintaining the structure, I'm gonna go Bob 4.
I can't go Bob. He took a shot at Independence Day. So I'll go Rob 4 as well. Rob 4 star. Nice job, Rob. I could have gone
deserved.
with a team tie. I could have gone with a team tie like we did for Leonard, but I don't want to give Moonfall any ammunition.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's part of the reason Leonard did so well last season. All right, cool. Rob, good job. Let's throw it to test number 3. This is where we talk about all the stupid shit that offended us in the movie. How's that for a summary? This is test number 3, the most offensive.
Oh, Jimmy, don't even
Well,
worry about
no,
it.
look at me. Don't think about anything. I want to ask you a question. When you came pulling in here, did you notice a sign on the front of my house that said dead
Saddle.
storage?
Jimmy, you know I ain't seen no shit.
Did you notice a sign in the front of my house that said dead
Saddle.
storage? You know why you didn't see that sign? Because it ain't there, because storing dead
Saddle.
ain't my fucking business. That's why.
The most offensive.
Dude, that's gonna be so good later when you hear what I did. One that was similar, like how the bumper was laid out, and you did it so much better than me. I think the contrast will be really funny.
Cool.
All right, let's talk about what was offensive about Moonfall, starting with number 1. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, I'll explain this to you later. But Sam the Slayer suckered by Big Cinema, and what I mean is the guy who I think his name is John Bradley, the
fat Seth MacFarlane guy.
Bob described him as the British Josh Gad, I think.
Yes, that's exactly what I described him as.
Which is pretty good, but also fuck you because I love Game of Thrones, and he's Sam Tarly in that show, and he's fantastic. And he got suckered into this movie. I don't think that he was necessarily a terrible actor in this movie, but I think it killed his maybe dreams of being in Hollywood because this movie was so bad.
No, I told you I liked him. He was my favorite guy in the whole movie.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. I really do. Number 2, the Birkenstock vegetarian hippie Mayan moon potato joke.
Can you repeat that? The Birkenstock hippie.
The Birkenstock vegetarian hippie Mayan moon potato joke. This really does happen in the movie. It's that Sam Tarley's character. So he's like he's a scientist who knows how to calculate the moon's orbit with a ruler, basically. And he's super smart and somehow figured out that the moon is a megastructure. And his friend, who is in the group, looks like a crazy person, is wearing your standard I smoke weed apparel. And he makes
the
jokes
drug rug,
about how the Mayans got potatoes from the moon. And it's a total throwaway line, and it was just like, let's make fun of hipster hippie types, and it offended me. Not that I am one, but I have friends that are. Farrah.
Yeah. Harmless.
Number 3, joking about John Bradley jumping into jeans. So he plays Sam, the Slayer in Game of Thrones. He plays. Do you guys remember? I don't remember any of the characters' names for this movie, which is.
I know. I was gonna say that at the beginning. I have nicknames. It's Halle Berry, the guy from Insidious, and English Josh Gad. Those are my.
Yeah. English Josh Gad is Casey.
Okay.
It just came to me. It's Casey. But Casey is trying to get ready real fast, and he has to jump into a pair of jeans, but he can't really do it because he's overweight. And that's not funny to me.
Right. That is offensive.
Yeah. But what's more offensive to me is number 4, inflating Elon's ego, which they did a couple of times in this movie, and it really bugged me.
Yeah, this is before Elon was canceled.
Yeah, I mean, he has, not to speak on what I think about what he said, but let's just say that it was controversial and that, he gets a lot of heat for the kind of rhetoric he's spread. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why choose sides if you're making a movie? When Aaron and I had a business, we would never have declared our political leanings, and I try not to here. You probably have had some idea
you don't want to
which way I
alienate.
go, but
You don't want to alienate half your clientele for Facebook clout. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Like if I put a big go Joe Biden hat or a big Trump flag in my restaurant, half of the people that came in might turn right back around. So, just don't do that kind of stuff in your movie, I think. Number 5, space fire again.
Yeah.
God damn it. At this point, it's making it onto the offensive list because in 2022 or whatever the fuck, you should know. You should absolutely know that fire is not possible in space.
Right.
Yeah.
I took a screenshot. If you guys want me to send it to you, I will. Number 6, American exceptionalism.
Mm-hmm.
So another one of those movies, and Bob's going to say, just like Independence Day, but where America solves the world's issues. At least in Independence Day, you get collaboration from other countries, not just the Chinese who don't even show themselves. You get actual footage in places all around the globe.
Not just the Chinese. That's so good.
Our inaugural episode that you can find at www.theworstmovieevermade.com, Armageddon. They had the Russians. They
did have the Russian. Yeah,
he bangs the wrench, and he's like, "This is how we do it in Russia." Yeah.
Yes, definitely not smearing other countries along the way. Number 7. This is my last. No, I have one more after that, which is a clip. But number 7 is deploy a couple dudes on daycare detail, for fuck's sake. Like you're at the launch and you're gonna send your kids off. The person you're having drive away is your own son who was just in a high-speed police chase on national television. You don't have a guy like a security guard guy, like an equalizer or a John Wick or something that can just drive the kids to where they gotta go. You don't have just a man with a gun, a woman with a gun that can drive them where they're going. They have to go as kids in a car by themselves in the end of the world scenario. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway,
everyone else quit because the world was ending.
Yeah, I guess I might have.
That's true. Yeah.
But like if you stuck around, maybe you get a real big payday.
Yeah.
If you're like
That's
the
right.
only
You
guy
would.
willing, why not? If you're like the kind of CIA agent who's got the 3 a.m. like hot dog depression going on.
I don't know.
You know?
Man. I'll tell you from experience. Watching kids just doesn't pay.
Yeah, fair. I
Yeah.
did that all day. All day, and I'm run down, as you can maybe see. I'm overcompensating by talking too much. Number 8, and this is our first clip of the day. You may not know right off the bat why this is so offensive, but I'll explain it after the clip plays. This one is called Jurassic Jack.
Jurassic Jack.
Whoa! Look at these babies. I told you, the moon was built by aliens.
Brian! Brian!
Brian Harper!
How many Brians you think are inside the moon?
Whatever this place is built out of, one thing's for sure. It's stronger than anything we have on Earth.
Do you guys know why I found that offensive?
No.
Was that like the rippling water in the cup on the dashboard in the first Jurassic Park? Is that what it's in reference to?
Okay, it is
From
in
the title.
reference to a Jurassic Park movie, but it is not the first.
Okay.
That's really weird that you would say that.
I've only seen the first.
Okay, well, the second one, which is terrible, maybe podcast fodder for future seasons. But Julianne Moore plays someone called Sarah Harding, and Vince Vaughn is out in the jungle looking for her because she was on a mission before him, and they're all looking for her. And Vince Vaughn's character goes, Sarah Harding, and then like Sam Neill or something turns to him and goes, how many Sarahs do you think are on this? Or on this island or whatever. Yeah. And it's a pretty good line, but that was literally just Jack from Jurassic Park 2. Like straight up Jack. It's not a reference, it's just a fucking steal. And I hated that.
There was another steal, and I forget what it was, but they're guilty of it because they did it again in this movie. And I forget what it was. I'm so mad I didn't write it down.
It's tough because you can't be guilty of plagiarizing the joke if it's a different if it's different verbiage, but the same idea behind the joke. Although you should be liable, in my opinion. They should have paid a penalty for making literally the same joke.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I have for offensive. You guys want to mention anything you found offensive that I missed?
No, but there is one good joke that I will mention in the catch-all. I wrote down a note to remember it because it actually made me laugh out loud over how stupid it was. But it was
I have two jokes in the catch-all that I liked.
Okay.
I don't want to give this movie any credit because fuck this movie. But all right, let's throw it to your rad read then, Rob.
Yeah.
Going to Ponderosa. Here I am, just like Bill Cosby in the new movie Leonard Part 6, on yet another secret mission. Arriving, I enter cautiously. Then I see it.
Now get a Leonard Part 6 mini spy camera at Ponderosa for only 99 cents with any purchase.
All right.
Hi, Leonard.
Rob's ad read.
There's a family feeling at Ponderosa.
Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by Captain Crump's Mung Butter. What is mung butter, you ask? We don't know, but we have a surplus of the stuff after trying to create an entirely new category of food that failed to materialize, and we have to offload it before the rats find it. Mung butter goes great on toast. Mung butter goes great on roast. Mung butter is totally not creamed corn that's been spray painted green and blended together with sawdust and expired meat ends from the deli. But if you have evidence that speaks to the contrary, you'll disappear quickly because mung butter is creating jobs and we can't afford for you to be asking any questions. What are you creating? Seriously, what are you creating? Yeah, nothing. Didn't think so. So shut the fuck up and sink your tongue into the mung.
Holy shit. That's it?
Yeah.
Man, that's aggressive advertising there.
I buy it by
an aggressive marketing campaign, but I love it, and I have a case of mung butter here, which I have tasted.
Let me ask you: Is there also somebody standing slightly off camera pointing a gun at your head, or is that just me?
Yes, like documentaries I've seen about real life places and real continents that do exist. There was a man standing a few feet away with a gun pointed to my head while I said into camera how good mung butter was, but but I meant it.
Can't live without it.
You can't.
Yeah,
Among Bugs.
so
Thanks
I'll find
for.
out.
Yeah, we'll have to send you a case, Bob. Get
Yes,
your tongue in
please.
the mung.
Send me a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Sounds
comes
good.
with. Yeah, it comes with. All right, test number 4, the worst dialogue.
Some really bad dialogue.
You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe that really happened in a movie. Okay, we count down from 5 here. We'll start with the fifth worst line of dialogue. And you know what? I'm skewed here because I hate junk science, and that's all this movie was. So number 5 starts with singularity.
It's some kind of self-aware, self-replicating singularity.
Like a machine?
Machines don't have intelligence. This does. It's everything we feared about AI. And it knew we were coming, so it was probably drawn out by the electronic signature of the capsule. Everything we thought we knew about the nature of the universe has just gone out the window.
Yeah, I try to make these clips shorter if I can, especially because in Pulp Fiction, we hammered you with like 1.5-minute clips. So sorry for that, everybody. I hope you enjoyed them. That was a nice short one, but it's ridiculous. Self-replicating singularity. What is that?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It doesn't make sense.
Somebody tell me. How does Halle Berry know that it must have been attracted to the electrical signal? Because later in the movie, she's like, that's how it happened because the electronics were off in the space shuttle when it happened earlier in the movie. So she like already knows, but then doesn't know later that that's the reason that the micro machines are able to detect them. Yeah. It's
Plus, how would she ever know? In the first place? Come on.
She would never fucking know. So there you go. That's just a little taste. Let's get into some more with number
4. Yarg!
This is calculations.
How do you feel about flying the shuttle with only 2 engines?
It can't be done.
If we launch when the moon is directly above us, the increased gravitational pull should give the shuttle a boost, giving you a really good chance of getting into
You
orbit.
evacuated my entire flight crew. Can't fly the shuttle alone.
That's why I'm going with you. My guys will stay back and handle the launch, but we've got a very narrow window of time here.
You'd have to be ready to go in exactly 28 minutes.
You fly, and I'll navigate. Just like old times. What do you say?
What about the EMP device?
It's still on the moon lander. I mean, we lost the crew, so we're gonna have to set it off ourselves, but you paid attention, right?
2 clicks, then press the button down and hold. Triggers the device to go off. Simple.
You figured all this out?
And he calculated our new launch trajectory.
You know, without electronics, we're gonna need to make split-second calculations up there.
Plus, we lost our flight engineer.
You know, when I have 28 minutes to save the world, I also talk at this pace with no sense of urgency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really the heart of it. That's what bugs me so much. But I just have so many notes on this. 2 engines on the spacecraft. And he says that's impossible. She says, no, it's not impossible. The moon is so close that its gravity should give us a boost. Where's the calculation for that?
Yeah.
Could you explain that for me? How do you know? How are you confident in that? Because you know, Josh Gad from the UK didn't even do that calculation as he should have. We just have 28 minutes. I wrote so to set off the EMP device that they're confident will kill the AI, even though the AI should know what kills it and correct itself. It's just 2 clicks and then you press down. It's nice and easy.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie, it's just like, hey, if we say like NASA jargon at dumb people, they'll buy it. That's why this movie fucking bothers me so much.
Yep.
Because I'm not an idiot. At least I don't think I am. Maybe so. You guys let me know in the emails. Rob, where can they email us?
www.theworstmovieevermade.com.
Let me know if I'm dumb. Here's number 3. This one is rules.
And this is just in from our correspondent in Southeast Asia. Apparently the moon is causing a drastic increase in tectonic activity. Reports of countless earthquakes and volcanic eruptions keep pouring in.
That's weird. What's weird? The moon doesn't have enough gravity to do that, no matter how close it gets.
You still don't get it. We're dealing with a megastructure. Your rules don't apply anymore.
There it is. They gave up. They gave up. They didn't want to try to explain anything, so they had Sam Tarley say, your rules don't apply, so that I can try to relax, right? I can't relax. I have to do the science that I can't do. I can't do math. I'm not Bob Hassick over here. I don't know, but I'm trying. I fucking hated this movie because I'm sitting here trying to do half-assed math on how the planet would never hold up when it's hit by all the asteroids, and how plate tectonics don't split at exactly the launch pad, and how you don't know whether the moon can boost your fucking gravity when you have 2 engines on a 3-engine spaceship. I'm just fucking number. This one's Scan.
Am I still alive?
We scanned your consciousness. You're part of the moon now.
What? No freaking way.
No, you're right. No freaking way.
So, we saved the Earth.
We should get started.
On what?
Get started with what?
The sequel that never materialized.
Exactly. There it is, guys. You had it. There's the setup for the fucking sequel that never happened.
That was it.
You know why? Because this movie fucking sucked. They scanned his consciousness.
Yeah, consciousness is very scannable. It has a QR code.
Yeah.
And speaking of ripoffs, isn't this like the whole contact thing where like the alien takes on the form of like your familiar or something, so you're not afraid of it or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Number.
You mean like?
Daddy? Oh, Bob.
Bob.
Sorry, I was gonna say like a taco that poops ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to hear that sound again, Rob. So just play the drum roll, please.
You know what? Fuck it.
Okay. Get ready for an array of bad dialogue from an array of characters in electronics.
Could have just turned it off.
Okay, Bri. At the trial, you said when the swarm came back, it didn't attack the Endeavor, right?
That's right.
The electronics were out. That's why it didn't attack us then, and that's why it didn't go after the bomb just now.
Because it needs to sense both. It's like it's programmed to seek out organic matter in an electronic environment.
Exactly.
That's basically us. That's humans.
And guys, we have another problem. The military. They're prepared to use everything at their disposal to stop the moon.
You can't be serious.
I'm dead serious. They're gonna nuke it.
But what about the radioactive fallout? Your buddies say anything about that?
Well, first of all, they're not my buddies. And they're not thinking about tomorrow. They're trying to survive today.
So that's their grand plan, huh? I didn't come this far to fail.
We have to figure out a way to kill it. I'm taking the Lantern flying after this thing.
Does he mean inside the moon?
Yeah, I'm afraid that's exactly what he meant.
How much time left till they launch?
I don't know. They didn't exactly tell me. But if they plan on using ICBMs, then they're gonna have to wait until the moon enters the stratosphere.
That's less than 2 hours.
This is the exact moment where I texted both of you guys at like midnight going like, they're going to kill the fucking moon.
They're going to kill the moon, and they're going to wait until it gets into the stratosphere.
I love that it's the end of the world, and she's like, "Listen, they're not my friends. I don't like them. Okay."
Too true. This shit is insane. This fucking movie. Holy shit! I fucking hated this thing so much. I don't have anything else to say. Yeah. Let's just throw it to test number 5, the worst production.
Hey, dirtbag. You're allowed to.
Production.
I don't like loud
productions.
You wasted a kid for nothing. Now I think it's time to waste you.
Yeah. Dude, that's nice.
Nice. Yeah. All right, worst production is a slash this week because I couldn't decide between the two. And I might make you feel bad for this movie for a moment. I'm sorry to say that. I'm going to say first, this was unnecessary / COVID. Okay, so you might not realize, but this was released what year? 2022?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was greenlit in the spring of 2020. And you remember what happened then?
I do.
Yeah. That's when it was cast. That's when it was like greenlit and all that shit. So the first of all, it doesn't help that this is a rehashing of Independence Day, right? It totally is.
Mm-hmm.
It was directed by the same guy. The same guy directed Independence Day, and this also directed the day after tomorrow. He was like he's a disaster movie guy. I mean, here's my argument, right? Immediately after the guy that nobody believes sacrifices himself for the good of the world, the two astronauts proudly walk toward their families at the end.
Wow, that is so.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Parallel.
Come on, that's not even the only one. That's just the most obvious ones.
You can't excoriate Independence Day for the repeat later, though. It was the first time in Independence Day. It was an original thought then. It has been duplicated. That is at the Moonfall's feet, not at Independence Day.
But it wasn't good. It was just the same.
It was good.
Okay, but to top it off, right? Here's where my slash comes in. It was greenlit in the spring of 2020, and I'm sure that creates a lot of production issues that ended up hurting the overall film. A matter of fact, two cast members would have been better choices, and you're not going to guess who one of them was. Come on, make a guess.
Jamie Kennedy.
No.
All right.
Come on, better one.
Okay, better than one of the cast members here.
Yes.
Like lead role?
I would have replaced Halle Berry with anyone.
Unfortunately, she was the only one that signed on right away. No, Josh Gad was the original choice.
No,
he really
way.
was.
Oh.
He really was. Josh Gad played that guy, and then remember the guy that he was the second husband of the astronaut's wife.
That is Michael Pena.
Yeah, he sucks. But it was supposed to be Stanley Tucci, and because of COVID problems, they had to recast it.
Can you tell me what movie we've seen Michael Pena already in our podcast lore?
Oh, that was the police one with what's his name? That was End of Watch.
Yes, it was nice.
Yeah.
End of Watch. That movie
he
fucking
sucks.
sucked.
He was worse than this, if that even means anything.
He was worse than this. I agree.
So anyway, those are my two arguments. It was unnecessary because it was already done, and COVID really fucked it up. So I feel bad. I feel bad because COVID really fucked it up. But at the same time,
it was never going to be good. Yeah, it was never going to be good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Michael Pena, you will hear from him later in a test that supports your theory that he's kind of bad in this movie. What test that might be, I'm not too sure. It might be coming up right now. And test number 6, the worst acting.
This is where the law stops, and I start
acting badly.
That's 2 cobras.
That is 2 cobras. And you know what's funny is what was that 2 seasons ago? We did the worst acting on Demolition Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Stallone
becoming a mainstay. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Stallone
he
cuts.
is. We better hear from Stallone again this season, otherwise I'll not be happy.
Yeah.
Let's start with number
1.
This is Cover Up.
In school, you were taught that Apollo 11 lost contact with Mission Control for 2 minutes. Not true. Mission Control cut their feed to the world because they found something on that day. Strange, pulsating lights emanating from beneath the moon's crust. It was me who was assigned to keep it under wraps. The Apollo crew played ball. Everybody after. Just Brian Harper wouldn't. They called him crazy. Threw him out with the trash.
You're telling me that the moon was effectively the biggest cover-up in human history?
Biggest, probably.
You had blood on your hands, too.
Yeah, well, anyone who follows orders pretty much always does, don't they? That technology, it's light years ahead of us. Compared to that, we're the Stone Age.
You could tell he really wanted that blood on his hands thing to be like the profound takeaway.
Yes, he absolutely did.
Yeah.
When she says it's effectively the biggest cover up in the history of the world or America or whatever, she like stumbles on it, and they don't care.
She sucks.
She is bad, man. I don't know. Like,
and here's a funny.
I like Swordfish.
Here's a funny fact. Donald Sutherland, who played that part,
yes,
played essentially the same exact part in JFK. Did you guys see JFK?
A long time ago
for school, in middle school. I want to
He
say.
just kind of shows up, talks about the conspiracy as a cameo, and then disappears. It's the exact same part.
Yeah.
And he's the exact same age.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, Halle Berry just sucks, man.
Yeah.
And I actually just caught it now, but they threw away Brian Harper with the rest of the trash when he wouldn't go along with the thing in 1969. Isn't that the lead character?
Yeah.
How old was he then?
Exactly. No.
What?
No,
Was
he
his
just
dad?
he wouldn't play ball for his role in.
Oh, later. Okay.
Later, yeah. I just forget what
okay.
year. But
Why?
still,
Why bother? Why bother throwing that fucking in? It has nothing to do with the story.
that's a catch-all thing that I'll bring up if you don't.
Like all of NASA refuses. They're all on the gag. It's the world is flat. It's just if Brian Harper, a man of moral value, was actually there, he would tell us.
The fact that he didn't age and he's totally ripped, unemployed. That's the thing.
yeah, right. He's not even an alcoholic like Gerard Butler was in Geostorm.
Right.
He does crack a beer.
Forgot about that.
All right. Anyway, number 2. Okay, Halle Berry again and kill it.
Plan is to take off when the moon is closest to Earth. Since we're dealing with an unpredictable target, navigation is going to be crucial. Our navigator, Carl Saunders, is going to be making sure we hit the mark. Flight engineer Hannah Martin will run real-time calculations to ensure that we intercept the moon. And once we clear the atmosphere, we'll begin the refueling process. But thankfully, our friends at SpaceX have a propellant depot currently in orbit.
I love Elon.
So once we're all powered off, we use our thrusters to position ourselves over the Mare Crisium. Our Chinese friends have jerry-rigged the onboard systems so that we can fly it without electronics. So we'll park the rover section of the module with the bomb inside, then switch the electronics back on and use it as bait to lure this thing out of its hole.
Then you guys will pull the trigger and kill it. And then hopefully y'all can go back home.
If you still have one left.
And it just smash cuts to Casey like blowing into a tube and like pedaling furiously to move the ship along.
That I mean, mostly that wasn't Patrick Wilson. That was Halle Berry that I had an issue with.
Yeah.
When she comes in, she kills the whole fucking. I mean, it's what they're explaining is preposterous and totally dumb.
Yeah.
And who cares? But then she comes in and she's like, and then we'll kill it.
The moon. They're gonna kill the moon.
Yeah.
I need to repeat that anytime I get a chance. They're gonna kill the moon.
All right, number 3. This one's great. This is called Crazy Gravity.
General, we got caught in a little bit of trouble, but we're back en route. We're leaving Aspen now.
That's hours away. We're out of time.
Sonny, watch out!
I gotta call you back.
Oh, shit. The moon is rising.
Gravity's gonna go crazy.
What? All right, so that kid. I mean, it starts off with the guy's talking to like an admiral or like a fucking captain in the army or navy or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call you back." As this dude's like, road raging at him. I want to say Fury Road. It's like a car chase scene all of a sudden where these burglars are trying to run him off the road. And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna have to call you back." Like he has experience, and I guess he was just in the police car chase. But not an appropriate reaction in my view.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how do you get away from the? Who wrote that line? You can't act that well. You can never act that well when you're supposed to say the moon is rising. It's in the stratosphere at this point, and the girl goes, "Oh my god, gravity's gonna go crazy." What the fuck are we talking about here? I don't know what this movie is. I don't ever want to watch it again.
No,
I don't want. I want to just hit myself with a hammer until I forget it exists.
Yes.
This is number 4. This is Casey.
Come on.
Right. I'm the director of NASA. This is my call, not yours.
Yeah, and I'm the commander of this mission, and I'm staying behind.
There's gotta be another way.
There's no other way, Joe. You know that. We have to finish this, or that thing's gonna finish us.
What's the matter with you? You're putting the fate of the world in the hands of your ex-wife and some has-been astronaut.
She's never let me down before.
I have a problem. God help you if you're wrong.
God help us all.
Sonny! Sonny, wake up!
No. No. No, you shouldn't have come back.
You don't leave people behind, okay?
Brian, you are not gonna do this.
Casey! Casey!
Governor!
Take over. Casey! What are you doing? No! No! What are you doing?
I have a massive problem with this.
Okay, shoot.
His ex-wife has never let him down before.
His
ex-wife. Wouldn't they still be married if she never let him down?
You would think, yeah.
When she took his kids and half his shit. Of course she let him down.
Dude, good point. I didn't even think about that.
Very good point.
Well, as with the last of the worst dialogue, that was an array of bad acting from an array of bad actors. Everyone there, I thought, suffered, and we were doing the ADHD brain thing where we're switching from scene to scene, and everyone's all like fucked up and about to die, and that makes for better conflict resolution, I guess. I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Hate it.
I'm mad. This is the first time this is the first time I legitimately like yelled "fuck you" at my TV.
I'm telling you, dude.
Yep.
Oh my god, so mad. All right, let's throw it to Bob for fact or no fact.
Fact. No fact. Fact. No fact.
I don't know what's so funny about just like the flaccidly saying the thing, but like the music cuts out while you're doing it.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny. You did your editing was better execution than mine, but I did think it would be funny.
So we
have our TikTok page, you can see you smash your Cats album. I thought it was fitting. So go ahead.
I'm telling you. So we have to listen to a whole season of Jellicle Cats now?
Yes, we do.
Jellicle Facts.
Jellicle
All right.
Facts.
All right. So first of all, the big reveal, you guys didn't mention it. I'll mention it. Fact or no fact from last week was a Pulp Fiction. And did we get any emails of guesses?
We didn't because our listeners don't like
damn it, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
there's hundreds of you at this point.
So my son, my son's 18, right? So he's of the generation of tech, so they say. And when he went to our website, he's like, "I don't see an email link." And I'm like, "It's the fucking envelope." And he's like, "Oh, I see now."
I'm gonna fix that. I'll make a link.
Yeah. Okay.
So So I said, okay, there it is, and he laughed. But anyway, you guys both got it right.
Yeah, we doubled down. Fuck
You
yes.
doubled down, and you got it right. I love Peter Jackson. I love Peter Jackson. I loved his old horror movies. I loved his take on Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson's he's my man. He is light years above Quentin Tarantino. Anyway, but his script. But I did not love Heavenly Creatures as much as I like Pulp Fiction.
We didn't.
There you go.
Right. We did not think so. We knew it,
and you did it. Good job. So last week, I gave them 5 opinions of mine that were real and not real. 4 were real, 1 was a lie. They picked a lie. This week, I'm going not with opinions, but facts. And 4 of these things are facts, and 1 of them is a lie. Here we go. Figure it out. 135 different sets were constructed because COVID location restrictions.
Wow.
Okay, second, the film nearly lost an equal amount to its $138 million budget after marketing costs were factored in.
Okay,
third one. The film is based on a real-life popular conspiracy theory about the moon being a hollow construct and not a planetary mass. Okay, fourth. Randy Quaid, famous for his role in Emmerich's Independence 4 movie, is an active hollow moon theorist. And last, a real astronaut was on set during production as an advisor, and whenever he approached Roland Emmerich and said, "That's not really possible," Emmerich told him, roll with it. It's just a movie.
Why have him?
Then why hire him? Okay.
500 hours of Spanish. Just in case.
Yes, just in case.
Just in case.
Okay.
That was a fact.
That was a fact.
I believe the sets thing that they were. I don't know if the number holds true, 135 different sets, but I believe that I could see why that would play into the other budget points you made, and I could see why there would be restrictions. And like, I mean, I didn't count them, but there was a lot of different things. Moving on. Nearly lost an equal amount to its $138 million budget. So you're saying a $138 million deficit once you factor in how much it made against how much they also spent on marketing.
Yes.
So that's believable. I believe that is based on a real life popular conspiracy because I feel like this movie is so contrived and not original. Then I don't think anybody had the imagination to come up with the theory. I think they pulled it from somewhere. They read something on like Snopes.com and we're just like, all right, we'll roll with it. To that point, I know Randy Quaid did kind of disappear from Hollywood, so it's not too far-fetched that he is a conspiracy theorist. I'm not sure if this is his theory, but I mean, it's believable. And then the real astronaut was on set as an advisor, but they didn't listen to his advice, which just seems like, why would you hire one? So I think that might be the lie, because why would you hire somebody to advise on what's realistic or not in your movie, only to have them on the payroll and not use their advice? So I'm torn between that and the amount of different sets. I believe a lot of different sets were made, but I'm not sure if it was 135. But my gut tells me number 5 is the lie, because why would you hire somebody if you wanted to use their advice to make the film better and not listen to their advice? So number 5, final answer.
Totally fair, Rob. I'm between the 135 sets constructed and the film lost almost equal to the $138 million budget, just because those numbers are so similar. But then again, Bob is a smart guy. I think he'd realize how similar those are and would skew his lie if you realize
I'm a smart guy.
Yeah, I think so. Email us if you feel different. Tell us which one of us is an idiot.
It's the envelope. It's the envelope, people. Hit the envelope.
And I say that all the time when I say you can click the envelope on the bottom.
Yeah, he does. To his credit. I don't know, man. I'm with you, Rob. I feel like why have a real astronaut on set if you're not going to take his advice? And I like the 135 sets constructed because of COVID restrictions or whatever. 135 seems like a lot, though. So I guess I'm going to I feel like it's. I'm second guessing myself because I feel like often it's the money thing is where Bob like screws us. So I want to say number 2, and I want to say number 1, and I'm just gonna. My gut was 1, so I'm gonna go with 1, so I don't Rochambeau myself for screwing it up later. Number 1, 135 sets is a lie.
You guys do better when you double down. Not that either of you got this right this time.
Damn it.
Randy Quaid is a lunatic, but he's only a lunatic not because of his hollow moon theory. He does not believe.
I knew he was a crazy man, so
he does not believe in the hollow moon theory.
God damn it.
Though the hollow moon theory is real.
It definitely is. Yeah, I've heard of it.
And the film barely made any money, and then after marketing lost pretty much the equal amount of its budget. Yes, it was around $145 million. Yes, they built 135 different sets because of COVID location restrictions. And yes, I thought the same thing, Rob. Why would you hire an astronaut advisor if you're just going to tell him to roll with it? But that's what I read.
Had to.
I think he had to.
I would take that job.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you
I don't think that could. All right.
I'm going to give you $100,000 to eat the catering and be ignored.
How much? How much is a former astronaut making these days? I mean, I think take the work,
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you're like cutting the ribbon at the new Circuit City.
Yeah,
exactly.
That doesn't pay.
Consulting is a great
Radio
line of work
Shack.
because
the new
consulting
tweeter.
is a great line of work because you give people advice. They don't follow it. You circle back 90 days later. You go, did you follow my advice? They go, no. And you go, okay, I'm going to give you the same advice again. You're going to give me another check. And we're going to do the song and dance until you fire me.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
He's like, hey, I made Independence Day. The guy's like, I'm not impressed. Anyway.
Not impressed by your space knowledge.
Yeah.
All right, well, now it is time to get into the fun. Here we are going to talk about everything that we saw that we hated. For any reason that doesn't fall under the umbrella of any of the tests that we've done so far. This is the catch-all.
And now it's time for the catch-all. The doors suck.
Right.
The doors do suck, I agree. All right. If you hadn't noticed, we're all laughing really hard at each other's bumpers because none of us has heard the bumpers of the others. So not yet. This is the first episode of season 24. So
yes.
Toto opening, and it's all downhill from there.
You know what? I was talking to Stacey when we were watching this. She was in and out watching it because like it's not. She doesn't have to. We do.
I don't.
But I was like, they're gonna save the day. And then the credits are going to roll, and you're going to hear Africa. And they didn't go straight to Africa in the credits. So
yeah, that's true.
I saw it coming, but
they got you.
Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah.
It is true though. They got me. I thought it was "Missed the Rain." I thought it was "I missed the rains down in Africa."
Yeah.
Not "I blessed the rains down in Africa." But,
yeah.
So true. They got me there. You can hear sound effects in space in this movie.
Yes.
Don't know how that's possible with no air. Anyway,
yes.
I don't want to move. I hate New Jersey, says someone. How do you feel about that, Rob?
They're not wrong. I mean, here's the thing. People are right to say that. Certain areas of Jersey have a smell, but like it's also like every other. I moved from Connecticut to Tennessee, and everybody's like, "Oh man, so it's crazy and different down there." Like, no, the whole nation's been gentrified. You're literally just eating in a different zip code with like slightly different laws.
Yeah.
So
and different.
I don't feel strongly, but I
Yeah.
can see why people would not like New Jersey.
Sure. I don't. 3 Eurogenius accidental Eureka tropes, rather. So accidental Eureka tropes. You guys know what that is. It's like
but which ones? Which ones are you referring to?
There are 3 of these infractions. One of which is Halle Berry. Her son says something and maybe has an action figure or some shit, and she's like, "Oh, you're a genius," and hugs him. And then the the Josh Gad of the UK is like, oh my God, he does it too. Maybe it was his mother. I don't know. There's 3 of them, and they're all upsetting.
It'd have been funnier if when she said you're a genius, he would have looked at her and said, "Then you're not my mom."
A typical framework for a shit sci-fi.
Yeah.
But it's kind of skewed through like a poo-poo lens.
Yes.
In my opinion. The pace is ADHD fast. I mean, I said this before. I know
brown colored glasses. That's just...
yeah. Some reporters said mounting moon terror. I think you texted that to us, Bob.
I did text that.
Definitely caught that. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
If the moon was a dwarf star, wouldn't it have way more gravity?
Yes.
Yes.
It would.
Way more.
Wouldn't it just like, swallow the earth?
Yeah, it'd be like...
I don't know any of these people, and I don't care to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donald fucking Sutherland.
Yep.
Nobody is sufficiently spooked.
No, there's no urgency.
By the end of Earth.
Yeah.
He lost a friend up there. Should I say it again? Because I think he might have said it 3 times. We have a prototype, but it's never been tested trope.
Yep.
Right.
I'm having a hard time following this plot. I wrote.
Yeah.
The city has been abandoned, but the prison that Sonny is in isn't abandoned.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
First, second, and third act are all ham-fisted.
So much ham.
Yes.
so much ham. Foreign exchange student? Why?
I thought that was Halle Berry's wife at the beginning. Did anyone else think that?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't think that.
I totally thought it was.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, okay, it's the wife. And then
I thought it was like her partner or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they changed it. And I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah. Because she had the presence of mind to make Halle Berry coffee.
Yeah.
And it was a cute moment, right? Where
it was.
Like, I know you so well that I know you can't like get out of bed without a cup of coffee. I made you a Tim Hortons Keurig cup. Tectonic plates breaking rather inconveniently, like on the fucking launch pad, for instance.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned it before, but that really did happen. Like, there's tectonic activity that happens to interrupt the launch.
Yep.
You can't just go to space. Big Man would have been just turned to jelly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You need like a lot of training for that to like deal with the G-forces of launching into space.
And yeah.
I wrote, I want the moon to crash and kill everyone, me included, while I was watching this.
That's fair.
Here's a line for you. Big ass gravity wave coming your way.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough to clip, but big ass gravity wave coming your way made me laugh.
Yep.
Even with the moon super close, wouldn't the Earth still hold on to stuff? Because it's like way more massive.
Yeah.
That was actually a thing brought up when I researched of how much inconsistency there was with what's lifted off the ground and what's not.
Right.
I had a really weird dream probably like 20 years ago that had stuck with me forever. And it involved the moon blowing up, and then like all the water just disappeared, and like all the ocean beds were just like a bunch of squids just going like dying.
Ooh.
And like I think about it a lot, but like, I wish that would happen in this movie. I was hoping to be some squid wiggles.
Right up.
Yeah.
Aren't thrusters on a rocket ship balanced? When they lose one, wouldn't they just go sideways?
In a circle.
In a circle, right? Yeah, a circle.
Yeah. Latitude and longitude in space.
Yeah. I don't know how that works.
What was that? Sam Tarley's like
protractor.
Yeah. Right, he's got a protractor and he's like, it's gonna be this coordinates longitude, this coordinates latitude. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't think space I don't think it applies in space. I'm pretty sure that's just a global thing. Shuttle smacked by 3 asteroids, no serious damage.
Nope.
I mean, those things are just traveling tens of thousands of miles per hour.
Yeah.
No big deal. The youngest boy is light enough to float due to the gravity, but 18-wheelers are also, and not the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
18-wheelers are floating, and so is the little boy, but the rest of the cast is not.
Yep,
For some reason. There should be a human villain. I thought that would have made this a lot better.
Yeah.
Like somebody really pushing for the nuke, like they were in Independence Day, which was a farce brilliant movie.
Yeah. By like 30% and still got a D. But yeah.
It was equal to.
They plan to nuke the moon when it's in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
What would that do?
It would
Kill
cause
everyone
the exact,
anyway.
It'd cause the exact thing they're trying to prevent, which is moon debris falling to the earth.
Yeah. And only in like a localized spot. I mean, it's not going to like. I think they're picturing the entire moon exploding because of a nuke. But do you realize how big the moon is in comparison to what a nuke would have done? It would have just destroyed a little bit of the crust, and then those would have been big. Like, we would have been fucked anyway. It didn't even matter.
Yeah.
The asteroids hitting the Earth would have already killed everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, give me a fucking break. The lights are on inside of the moon when they're traveling through like the tunnel that the AI made, and the lights are on, and the AI is not attacking them, even though it's attracted to electronics.
Yeah. Valid point. Mm-hmm.
The moon Okay, so Halle Berry's character, don't remember her name, says the moon must stabilize itself by some sort of gyroscopic system.
Yeah. She did say that.
It must, right? I mean, that makes perfect sense. How close are they to that white dwarf that's in the middle of the moon?
Yeah.
I have a feeling the heat might just melt literally everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Use shifted and jumping ground to drive away from burglars when in an earthquake car chase. If you didn't know, that's a little tip for you. When the ground is jumping around because you're in such an insane earthquake, jump with the earth, and that's how you avoid burglars.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes.
What were the burglars like? Were they just after the oxygen? Is that all it was?
Oxygen because they ham-fisted that plot line in where Colorado was losing oxygen, so they felt they wouldn't live if they didn't take the oxygen tanks.
Yep.
There were so many of these subplots that I only know because I have to pour over these bad movies so many times.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't otherwise catch on a first viewing. So if you weren't aware, the burglars, the people who are trying to rob them, are trying to get air tanks that they have in the car, which don't matter. They never use them. It's just a dumb subplot. It's a side quest.
It's like The Room. They keep introducing side stories they never resolve.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Standard AI rebellion trope. I mean, it has to just be said. The AI, though, just becomes nanotech.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a girl's got like a Siri by her bed in the past that's the future or whatever, and it just becomes nanotech.
Yeah.
Inside the little like sphere or whatever she has. She's like a, what do you call a pyramid, like cone thing? Like it's a pyramid, right? A triangle in 3D. What do you call that? A pyramid?
Yeah.
A triangular prism?
Yeah, prism.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So ultimately, Casey was wrong. There's actually only one megastructure. I know that's like, I know I'm nitpicking, but fuck this movie. In the beginning, he's a megastructurist, and he talks about all the megastructures out there that are this thing, but there's only one surviving thing. Yeah. So he's wrong. Ultimately, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Ludicrous mode. Did you hear him say that, Casey?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Was that an incorrect Spaceballs reference?
Yes. Does
that bother you?
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't want to say ludicrous speed so that they didn't get sued?
Maybe. I thought the same thing as soon as I heard it.
Oh my god, it bothered me. Major 0 hour trope. Disaster movies have us accustomed to the death of millions of people all at once.
Yep.
What happens to all of the asteroids and shit?
Future.
They still kill people, I think.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is that all the asteroids are made right from the crust of the moon.
Yeah,
yeah,
falling apart. Well, at the very end, they show the moon intact, and it has a giant ring of asteroids.
Yeah,
right.
Very good
So
point.
how does that happen? They were going to let Casey live. You just had to know that, and he sort of did.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. His consciousness and his mums.
Right, it was scanned.
Yeah.
Yes, his mung butter.
Batman and Robin with Alfred's brain algorithm. Remember that? With Alicia Silverstone.
Oh my god, yeah,
Alfred.
I do.
Yeah.
They just, oh my god, that was so like fast and forced. 2 lines were good, Rob. We'll see if we were thinking the same thing.
Okay.
He went to space, said Sonny, and Michael Pena's character is like, well, that's one way to avoid rent.
That's pretty good.
And that made me laugh. But the other one was the cat being named Fuzz Aldrin.
That was pretty good.
No, that annoyed me.
Did it?
Yes.
Mine was a piece of visual dialogue. The stepfather, Michael Pena, was it Michael Pena, the stepfather?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
They're driving really fast, and he's like, "We got to go to warp speed," and he turns his car off from eco mode.
Yes, that was hilarious.
I thought that might have been in the clip, but I guess not.
Well, this was heavily sponsored, right?
Oh yeah, I mean he's driving a Lexus or something.
Well, he's a
right?
Lexus dealer, and he makes a lot of money, so that's
Right,
Lexus is awesome.
So there you go.
Yeah.
There's
And then
one.
SpaceX is going to refuel
SpaceX,
us.
Yep. Yeah.
You know?
SpaceX a bunch.
There were a few, but those were the big ones.
Yeah, weird that SpaceX would have picked this movie to advertise on. It seems like a bad business decision.
Yeah.
Go figure.
You guys, you guys want to mention anything else?
I just wanted to say what I said before. A disgraced astronaut. How many years later was it? 12 years later or 15 years later?
Yeah.
He was unemployed, disgraced, virtually homeless, and he's ripped, and he hasn't aged a bit, and apparently has enough money to fix up a car, ride a motorcycle all the time.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's bullshit.
I mean, I guess if I didn't have to work because I made so much money, like flying in space, I'd spend my time working out.
Did he make so much money flying in space? I have no idea.
I don't know what astronauts make. But they've never been to space. It's flat. The Earth is flat.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are thinking this. What NASA does is they just send people to Antarctica with guns to make sure nobody goes there.
Oh god.
All right. Let's head into Rob's Magic Marvel corner.
Yeah.
Rob's
Don't
Magic
smash
Marvel
Big monster.
movie
Let's go.
corner.
Thor Ragnarok 2017. Let's do it.
Sweet.
Who wants to?
Who goes first?
I guess I'll go first. I feel like it's been a couple weeks. I'm going to say this, and then I'll immediately retract it. Why can't they get the Hulk right? Sorry. All right. I'm gonna retract it because I feel like Chris is going to say it. Okay, so who's more charismatic, Ruffalo or Hemsworth?
Hemsworth.
I agree.
Okay.
He's a good Thor. He's a good Thor. I enjoy the Thor movies and the Avenger movies that have a prevalence of Thor.
Agreed. Yeah. Speaking of which, my number one is Ragnarok is fucking great, right?
Yeah. I enjoyed moments of it. Like whole moments.
Entire moments.
Entire moments.
All right. So here's where my opinion shows. Okay. I was entertained by this movie. 100% entertained. Especially the third act. The third act really got me. I was like, okay, this is entertaining. But here's my problem. Should the Hulk be allowed to jump any amount of height on any planet with any gravitational pull with no questions asked?
No, you shouldn't.
No, because they haven't gotten the Hulk right, and we don't know why.
Yeah, that's my issue. Exactly my issue. You guys just called it out. Fucking well done. Shouldn't be able to jump like that. Number two. Do you think that taking a comic book style side story of this nature in the middle of a very serious movie story as a breather is the key to his success.
To like the success of the Thor movies, like in general.
This movie in particular, because I knew you'd agree.
Yeah, because it's fun. Like they get so ham-fisted in their messaging, and this one was just like, my brother's being a little dick. Like we have a sister we didn't know about. She's also being kind of a dick. Every time I walk in the room, I'm just gonna start throwing shit at my brother because he's being a dick.
No, I love that shit.
I just love he's like mid sentence, and all of a sudden he just grabs a spoon and starts flicking shit at him. And that made the whole movie for me. Just like, oh shit,
the chemistry is great.
Yeah.
Well, the director is a great director. Do you guys know who it is? It's the same guy. It's the same guy that made What We Do in the Shadows and what was the Nazi movie about the kid and the girl?
Oh, yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth?
No.
That was Del Toro. That was amazing.
You're talking about Jojo Bunny?
Yes, Jojo Rabbit. Yeah. That guy. He also did the voice of the big rock type monster.
Yeah, and that guy is funny, right? I mean, his lines were funny.
He's funny. This guy is funny. He's a good director, so no surprise he did a good job.
Yeah.
But my question is not going to be a surprise. Should Thor be allowed to take any amount of abuse offered with no bruises, but a cut to the eye is obviously his Achilles heel? No questions asked.
I mean, they did it, so I guess, but I found it to be a glaring plot hole now that you mention it.
All right.
This is why I don't watch these movies.
Yeah. You just gotta let them happen to you. It's like the Fast and Furious. Like you just gotta sit back and be like, like, you know.
And I did let this happen to me, and that's why I was entertained.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because if you are given that it is a supernatural universe, you can live with that. Hey, Aaron. You can live with. They are obviously saying it's a supernatural universe, so like, you know, then you can suspend your disbelief. But in a movie like Moonfall, where they expect you to take the science seriously, you get pissed off. That's how it works, Bob.
Kill the moon.
If it's a movie like Independence Day, they ask you to suspend your disbelief because there's actual aliens, and that's just AI. It's aliens. You don't know.
Not just English Josh Gad.
All right, number 3 for me was, and I'm so glad that we get to finish this segment with this. What former competitor of the Ass Cheek Arena would you pit against the Hulk in battle? And I know your answer, and I wish you wouldn't say this.
But... I know the answer.
Ernest P. Worrell.
Yeah,
Ernest P. Worrell. Yeah,
Ernest P. Worrell. Okay, I'm gonna write that down for no reason. Ernest P. And why, Rob?
He's fucking psycho, man. A sociopath, like pathological liar, and he has it like the double speed thing going for him, and he's got like weed whackers and shit.
Yeah. He just didn't feel pain. He went through so many battles with like just allowing pain to happen to him. With
the pain only made him stronger.
Yeah,
and
for real.
Therein lies his power.
You know what I mean?
I kind of. I mean, I kind of want to go back to those episodes and hear them. Why don't you play the bad credit names bumper, even though we're not doing this week?
I'm the Freak, the Phantom Freak, the King of 9X.
Bad credit names.
All right, wait. How about the Master of Disaster? Huh? You're hopeless, man. Utterly hopeless. Ultra Laser. Dr. Doom. Orwell's here now. He's living large. We have no names, man. No names. We are nameless. Okay, score 5.
Shotgun blast.
That there was from Hackers, a terrible 90s flick that we did earlier, where every single person has a horrible nickname. So
I was thinking either Hackers or Double Dragon. I couldn't.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. It is Hackers. No movie comparison this week. Let's do the bumper anyway.
Fight the real enemy. Rest in peace, Sinead.
All right.
Wouldn't be a season without the kazoo.
Yes,
that's the truth.
Every time I gotta do it.
And we have one more bumper for you, even though we're not doing an offensive minigame because we have nothing to compare this movie to again. Let's play the bumper for it.
The
Okay, this is a story about my mom and dad.
offensive
One was black, and I bet you think you're glad.
mini game.
My skin is very tan.
Don't know
Nice.
what the hell I am. So 1, 2, what does it stop?
All right. Well, so obviously you get a pass. You get a bye week if you're the first movie of the season. This season it was Moonfall.
Yeah.
So we will see them again next week in our movie comparison, our offensive minigame, what have you. Next week, though, guys, do you know what won?
I know there was one particular film had a healthy lead by a significant margin. But I'll let
Let's
you
just say I'm 2 for 2.
Okay.
Oh, it's yours. Oh shoot, I missed it. Was it My Giant?
It's
no.
No, it was joke. No, don't say it. It was God, what is that Dustin Hoffman movie where he plays a guy from Egypt? That's the joke I'm going for. I can't think of it. It's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, okay.
It is. So we did the 95 Mortal Kombat some seasons back. We're on 28 now, and season. I think it was a season 4 or something like that. We did Mortal Kombat, the 95 version. So now that we've gone through 26 seasons as we have, we finally wrapped around to Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I can't wait because it's actually worse than the 95 version. But you can't just skip to the second one, right? You got to do the first.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's what we're doing next week. You have spoken, you, the listener, who I love very dearly. Rob, why don't you tell them where to find the rest of our content?
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. I added us to a bunch of other streaming services, so you should see us on Amazon and Audible soon. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Pocket Casts, every minor podcast streaming. If you if you want to listen to a podcast and you search our podcast name, The Worst Movie Ever Made, you will find it. We're also on YouTube, which you could find at www.theworstmovieevermade.com. We're also on Instagram and TikTok, all of which can be accessed through www.theworstmovieevermade.com. There's an envelope on the bottom of that page that looks like a piece of mail, and that is for emailing. Which we're at 8,000 downloads now, which that's not a crazy high number, but we have listeners, and we want to hear what movies you guys want to watch. So that's my call to action right there. And Bob, you have any last words before we record? After this, we're recording a special bonus Bob episode about his
yes, we are.
His visit to hi Mark.
Oh, then I'll say oh hi Mark. Yeah, I'll just say that.
Right. Okay, that's his last word. Oh,
right.
Hi, Mark. Okay.
Right. Bye, everybody.